Hey guys, this is John Adams, and in this video today, I'm going to be talking about some I'm going to be talking about some bad YouTubers today. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. So yeah, so I guess let's get right into it. So the first channels I'm going to be talking about are anti-woke gaming channels. So yeah. So the first anti-woke gaming YouTuber I'm going to be talking about is Andy Pants Gaming, and yeah, trying to say that most games nowadays are woke and stuff like that. And he tries to spin this narrative where he says every game nowadays is woke and there is no good games anymore and stuff like that. And he usually says it's because some women are in developer teams usually that develop video games, and it's because that there's some women there that's why that, and then he says that that's why that's a problem for the most part. And yeah, and he usually talks bad about a lot of good franchises. Actually, he talked bad about Halo. He talked bad about Assassin's Creed. He talked bad and the only reason he's gaining a lot of viewers and subscribers is because of the video that he released, which was his first of anti-woke kind of content or gaming videos or stuff like that. Which is why is the video is called "Why is Gaming So Gay Nowadays" or something like that. And so he released that video, but prior to this, he did not believe in this stuff and didn't really care about this stuff. But now nowadays he's extremely pro-Trump and stuff like that, and he's really about saving America, I guess, or something like that. But for the most part, he's just a grifter and whatever, and he's just a liar because he was he actually really liked the Skull and Bones game that released apparently, and he deleted community posts where he said that the game was good. And yeah, and he also uses AI images with a lot of his stuff, which, in my opinion, is really lazy to do. I find that instead you could make a thumbnail, even if it's kind of bad. You could just make a thumbnail. You don't need to use AI to prove a point and use that in a thumbnail. I'm pretty sure you could just get a background and use a normal and have a normal background, but instead he takes AI images and I don't know, and he usually likes to he only talks about how like feminists are bad and stuff like that and like or whatever, and he usually never says anything bad about like the male counterparts of feminists basically. And in my opinion, that's why his channel is bad. And recently the only reason he's gaining traction is because he's talking bad about a lot of franchises. And that's why he's getting traction recently. And he likes to talk about masculinity a lot and stuff, but the thing is that he claims to be Christian even though he's not really a real Christian though. And that's my problem with him. And yeah, and when you confront him about his stuff, he'll usually just say that you're gay. And yeah, which is a lazy excuse. Instead, you could just actually, and most of his fan base wants him to talk about bad games. So he always talks about why games are bad nowadays. He talks about why some good games are even bad. So for the most part, I think he is a bad YouTuber, and I disagree with a lot of the stuff he says. And yeah, so now I'm going to be talking about what's his name? I think it's yeah, it's the Synthetic Man, and he supports a lot of the like anti-Semitic rhetoric that's been thrown around online and like conspiracy theories about well like mainly black people and Jews and stuff like that. And yeah, and he again kind of like similar to Andy Pants, he has also criticized games nowadays for being woke. But again, just like Andy Pants only criticizes the women part of that are making games. I mean, and both of them do this, and so that's why I put them together in this video. So a lot of the stuff he'll say indie games are the only thing good nowadays. I mean, again, in my opinion, these people just need to wait. Stop if you're so angry that you're willing to make fun and ridicule franchises that are still good and say stuff like and to say really dumb stuff. Like, I mean, if people want to hold out hope for the next Halo game or something, is that copium? Again, these are just terms that these people like to use to say, oh, you shouldn't be happy that a new Halo game's coming out. The franchise should just die. And people like that, they like to say these things, but they'll say these stuff, and it's really stupid, you know. And like I think yeah, this synthetic man guy, he's actually really racist, and yeah, and he also, like, for instance, like the Fallout show that recently came out, all he cared about was the sex scene in the show, and he never cared about anything else. And it for some reason that's really all he cared about in like the show, and he said the show was also just bad, which again is untrue. The show is actually not that bad, but he's dumb, so he wouldn't really know that. So yeah, that's my anti-woke gaming YouTubers. So now I'm gonna be moving on to the next few YouTubers. So yeah. So now I'm gonna be talking about history YouTubers. So yeah. So the first history YouTuber I'm covering, his name is What If Altist, and he uh he talks about like alternate history stuff, right? But he talks about alternate history stuff that like makes no sense. Like it makes absolutely no sense. And recently he's been acting like a weirdo. He was posting like a bunch of stuff on, I think it was Twitter, I think, or something, but he's been acting really, really, really weird. And he says like, oh, what if the Confederacy came back? But the thing is, it never would. Uh, even nowadays, like first of all, there's no need for slavery, so why would they come back to begin with? And I don't know, he has like a lot of other weird stuff. I mean, I don't know, he's really weird, and especially now. Like, I mean, he used to say some stuff back then, but I mean, like, I don't know, he's just extremely weird right now. Not that he ever like wasn't. I mean, he's still really weird, but yeah, he's like, he does talk about a lot of weird stuff like genetics and stuff. I mean, he does talk about like a lot of like pro-Nazi stances and stuff, and again, he like, I don't know, he supports that kind of and stuff like that. I think, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, and he went on some tangent recently and said that he's like, he met with all the gods and stuff like that. Like, he met with like, all the gods and conversed with them or something. He's been saying some really weird stuff recently, and yeah, he's a weirdo, to be honest. And yeah, and yeah. And then this next guy, his name is PaxTube, and he makes history videos as well. But like a few of his that I've seen, he talks about like, I think one of the things he talks about is stuff like the Spanish Inquisition, and he says that no Jews were killed during the Spanish Inquisition, which is again untrue. There was some Jews who were killed during the Spanish Inquisition, and he's like, or he's predominantly like traditional Catholic, which like traditional Catholics for the most part are made fun of because they don't believe what the Catholic Church really believes today. And anyways, and he like and in his videos on the Spanish Civil War, he supports Francisco Franco, who was a fascist and who was against the Allies and actually sent troops to Russia to support Hitler in the war, uh, and stuff like that. And he really, for some reason, really loves Francisco Franco, because he supported Christians and stuff like that. But he was and because they're against the commies, I guess. But he's not really. But Francisco Franco was not a good guy. He was a dictator. I mean, he met with some people, but just because they met with some people from other countries and stuff does not mean he was a good guy. He was actually a pretty bad guy. And uh, he also says a lot of other stuff like he says that America should have never joined World War One, and like, first of all, like, America only joined World War One in like the last year. Like they joined World War One at the very end of the war, so they didn't even lose as much troops as we had to, like as the French had to, as the English had to, as like Canada had to, and stuff like that. And they still lost troops. I'm not going to say they didn't. They did lose troops, But in both wars, World War One and World War Two, America was late to the war, and they didn't not lose as much casualties as us. Like we were fighting in the trenches for 3 whole years. It was still brutal, obviously, because it was World War One. But the thing is, we were fighting longer than them, and he doesn't even understand that it was not devastating for America. The war was short for them, basically. It barely lasted that long. And he also has a video about the Crusades where he glorifies the Crusaders and says that the Muslims were like evil and stuff like that, common like racist stuff. And he glorifies the Crusades, and it's really weird and stuff. And yeah, and he also says like the sexual revolution was bad because it has connections with. He said that it has connections with like trans stuff and stuff like that, which again is not true. That was about women, and stuff like that. But he tries to say that it's bad because it introduced stuff like like trans stuff and stuff like that, even though it's not true. Like, I mean, that was just women liberating themselves for the most part, you know. And he also does not like Protestants. He really does not like Protestants. Uh, which is, because he doesn't like the like how they changed the doctrine and stuff like that. Because he really, 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 really disagrees with Protestants and stuff like and like then there's Protestants in like Northern Ireland and stuff. But he doesn't even talk about that actually. I bet he doesn't even believe that Northern Ireland, I mean, exists or stuff. And like in my opinion, like on like the Troubles and so like I mean both sides were pretty bad. Like the IRA was pretty bad, and the Northern Irish like paramilitaries were both bad. But and a lot of these guys will like to choose sides and say, "Oh, one of them was good." Neither is good. They're both really like evil. Like I mean, they're both, and I mean the British were sent there for peacekeeping, to stop both of them from fighting, and and so like the IRA would attack the British, and and like then they always spin the narrative and stuff, they like and they're racist to themselves. That's actually the funny part. Like a lot of them are actually uh like from like some of them are actually Irish and stuff, and they make fun of their own like ancestors and say, and then they say, oh, I'm pro British, I'm pro, even though they literally a lot of their ancestors were hung by the British and stuff like that, which is pretty it's pretty silly. That's all I'm gonna say. It's pretty silly. And yeah, a lot of his yeah, he has like a lot of really extremely weird takes on like the Crusades, the Inquisition, and America joining World War One. And uh he also talks about Russia in one video and glorifies Russia as the greatest country in the world because they care about their history. But the thing is, our country still care about our history. I mean, we still care about our history. He likes to say we don't. I mean, I care about our history and stuff. I like learning about it, and I like but a lot of these guys will say a lot of really stupid stuff, and and they get no penalties for it, and that's my problem. Like they will say all this extremely stupid stuff and like literally brain dead stuff. Like I mean, you know, and and a lot of things aren't really done about it. A lot of these like guys who lie, aren't being, told where to go, honestly, like a lot of them are just, they're allowed to say whatever they want. And, and like most of it is just dangerous conspiracy theories and lies that have been proven to be lies. Like, a lot of like, and I mean, a lot of these guys are the same, like, neo Nazis, KKK, like the KKK and like neo Confederates and like anti-vaxxers, and like a lot of them are the exact same, like if you can all group them up into one thing for the most part, because they're all just lunatics to be honest, and like they're weirdos. Uh, and yeah, he believes in a lot of really really stupid stuff, like and I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. And then yeah, he has a lot of videos, talking about really really dumb stuff. And he also says that no Americans are immigrants, even though that's false. Even the Americans who made the journey from Britain to colonize America, or what is today known as America, they were all immigrants, and not all of them were wealthy. He tries to say all of them were wealthy. A lot of them were actually poor. and stuff like that. And and then there was there was Italian immigrants who came to America. And so America, is a nation of immigrants. All Americans are immigrants, and same with Canadians for the most part. Most Canadians are like from Britain. We were originally British, but then some British people went on ships. They sailed to Canada and what is today America, and they came to these countries, you know, for like a lot of stuff, honest work and stuff like this, and wanting to see the new frontier and build houses, buy out new land, stuff like that. And a lot of these guys would try to say that, oh, not everybody, I mean, all of them were rich, like white dudes. But again, our population has increased and changed, and demographics change. And there's no such thing as racism against white people. White people are not under threat. Most English people are the most like English people, especially like white English people. We are the largest and most like cumbersome demographic. We are a large portion of the population, an extremely large one. And conspiracy theories about our birth rates declining, stuff like that, and all that stuff. Again, that's just that again, like a lot of that stuff is just conspiracy theory stuff. And again, and they like to say things like Israel controls our government, and that there's like Israel controls all our countries, which again is untrue. Like these have all been proven to be untrue, yet these guys believe this stupid stuff. Yeah, and like it's so dumb. But yeah, I've been talking for a while about PAX 2, but yeah, he has a lot of videos that are really dumb. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to the next guy now, and yeah, or the next few guys. So yeah. So the next guy I'm talking about is GDF, and he again is kind of another history YouTuber. He makes videos. A lot of like the titles are really like really weird. Like he says uh like British soldiers smoked, or like UN peacekeepers smoked by Hezbollah. Which again they're just really stupid titles. Like he's like glorifying the blowing up of our soldiers and peacekeepers. I mean, like what's like I think he also has one like, oh, like peacekeepers blown up by epic Serbians. Like what? Like all of his titles are just stupid. He like this is a white dude, and it's so dumb. You see these guys, they like to spin the narrative where like Hezbollah is right, but I mean Hezbollah is just as bad as any other terrorist group. I mean, and there's also there's like all of his titles are just dumb. There's like IRA smoke British soldiers, uh Hezbollah like bombing of the UN building in like Lebanon, and how that was like epic or whatever. How like ISIS smoked the US soldiers, or whatever. Like I mean like a lot of his titles are just like, it's just it's stupid. And and he like he says a lot of stuff about Israel. I believe, like in my opinion, like the Zionist like Israeli people, they are bad. I agree. Like they like a lot of the alt right like Zionist like folk, who want to kill all the Palestinians. I believe they're really bad. But I also agree that Palestinians like who support those terrorist groups and like Hamas and stuff like that, both of them are bad in my opinion. You know, and like both those guys are honestly bad. Like both extremist sides of this conflict are bad. And I believe when people want to support one of these sides, they become evil. It's bad. You shouldn't support either of these sides, no matter like whoever you are. Anyways, I believe both these sides are bad. I mean, one of those guys that wears his glasses, he's like the Israeli Zionist like dude. He he's really like racist, and they want to like settle in Palestinian land and stuff like that, even though that's Palestinian land. They should not be occupying the area, and that's because that's reserved land for them. They're already boxed in enough as it is, in my opinion. It's really dumb. But both in my opinion, both sides of this conflict are really dumb. They keep escalating and escalating, and it's both their fault. They don't want to. It's just really complicated. Kind of dumb. But yeah, and so now I'm moving on to the next guy now. So now I'm talking about Asmongold. He's kind of a grifter actually, and he's been really supportive of Trump recently and stuff like that. And wants him to like invade our country, Canada, and and, like Greenland, and also the Panama Canal and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, Trump is just like a lunatic now, and just similar to Asmongold. Asmongold is also a lunatic. Like, Like, I mean, like, he's such a grifter, and he really wants to, he really likes to push, the same narrative as like the Andy Pants guy and stuff like that. And he's not honest, and he lies a lot, and that's really what he loves to do. And yeah, and he's not really good for it, to be honest. But yeah, and it's just, he's been lying a lot about stuff, and it's not good, you know. But yeah, so now I'm gonna be moving on to the next guy now. So the next guy we're gonna be talking about is Moon. I think he's he's kind of a self-help like YouTuber or whatever. Like he has like I think he has like a course or whatever that you can pay for. But a lot of his videos he uses the same style as Sunny V2, kind of, which is honestly just lazy in my opinion. Like it's really his editing style is really lazy, and he wants to just copy Sunny V2 style, and it's not. It's just it's really dumb, and it's not that Sunny V2 is good either. I mean, Sunny V2 is kind of dumb as well. I mean, he made like I think Sunny V2 he actually made a tone deaf video recently about like the cartels and stuff, and called Mexican people who stand up to the cartel. He called them like idiots, and like losers. I mean, a little like some of them made sense, like this one rich kid, but I mean the rest that made no sense, to be honest. And if you're gonna say stuff like that, you better watch what you say, because it's kind of dumb. And or well, yeah, but like that's not what I'm trying to talk about. I'm trying to talk about Moon right now. So he has like a fascination with like the movie American Psycho, where Patrick Bateman is portrayed as like a bad guy, and he's supposed to be a bad character. Like he is like kind of like the archetype of like an alpha male. But the whole point of the movie is you're supposed to not like him. You're not supposed to like him, and he's supposed to be like he's like a psychopath in like the movie, and he kills people and stuff like that, and he's not supposed to be a good character. You're supposed to not like him, you know, and yeah, and there's one part in the movie where like he kills a homeless guy and stuff like that, and he also like he's kind of like he also kind of hates women as well and stuff like that. And you're not supposed to and he talks about like 1984 a lot, stuff like that. We like he says and a lot of his videos are just copy pasted. He like makes the same video, to be honest, and he is really obsessed with American Psycho for some reason, and likes to talk about the movie a lot when he's a fictional character. Like Patrick Bateman is not real. Like the whole point is that you're supposed to like hate him. The movie's shot really well and stuff, but like he's a bad guy. He's a psychopath. He's not. You should not like. It's like young people aspire to be him. Like nobody's aspiring to be like him. Like what? Like it's stupid. And he also spread like misinformation about like COVID-19 as well. Like the anti-vaxxer like stuff, and he probably agrees with that as well. To be honest, he said big corporations, got, most of the money. And again, and a lot of, even if they don't say Jews, even if they don't mention that, they try to go near there, some of them, they word it, but just differently. If they can't, say it then raw and out there, they can find a way to, mosey it in there if they really want to. And that's what, and he has lazy content. He talks about Patrick Bateman and uses the same subject too much, and that's it's really like annoying. But yeah. So now I'm gonna move on to the last guy, and then we'll end the video off. And then yeah. So the last guy I'm talking about is Far From Weak, and he's kind of again kind of like a self-help like YouTuber somewhat, I guess. His he also has again he also has a course you can pay for, and these guys who they get you to pay for a course to to basically speak to them. Basically, that's what it is. Like an alpha male course where you can speak to them. But in my opinion, it preys on, it preys like they say like these guys want to get stronger or something. They're basically like, forced into a position where they got to listen to these guys. who are like these like if these young guys are actually paying for this, they are paying real money to hear what these guys have to say, and they don't even give them good advice. It's like paid for advice. And if you can't even if you can't even have good advice that people pay for, like what advice are you trying to say? I mean, advice should just be free, to be honest. You know, if you can't, if you got, get people to pay for advice, you know, you're dumb. You should just have a free course. In my opinion, at least. Like these guys are always getting people to pay with them because they know they're gullible. They know they can get a few bucks off of somebody who wants that. And and it's really sad to see actually. And and so yeah, and then Far From Weak, like again, like his content, is not good. He always he uses funny thumbnails. Like he said, like in one of them, like he in one of them he said like in one of them there's like some dude and it says like I will destroy LGBTQIA, and stuff like that. And they really love using the LGBTQ plus flag and putting it in there. It's annoying. It's annoying to see. You know, and and again he has lazy content. You know, and he talks about YouTube removing him. Well, just work with YouTube's guidelines and you can figure it out yourself. But he is a dumb guy, and yeah. But like yeah, Far From Weak, he's just you know he goes he goes like and then he uses like a Kratos like voice like in all of his videos. Like he goes and then like in one of his videos he goes what is it? It's it's like what is it? It's I'm trying to think how it goes like. It's uh okay, just wait a sec. Okay, all right, I'm back. Uh so like in one of his like thumbnails it says like he's like uh he's like someone had to say this. And it shows like it's like Kratos and he's like ripping up and like an LGBTQ like pride flag, and it's kind of funny. you know and it's like someone had to say this about the LGBTQ community or whatever. I don't know, but I find it really funny. But yeah, so this is the last thing I wanted to bring up. But yeah, so now I'm done talking about all of these YouTubers that I honestly think they are bad, and I made this video to kind of expose them. Well, not really expose, but talk about why they're lying and stuff like that. And why these guys, they they profit off this stuff, but they're these guys are just dumb. They're idiots. You know, and I will make a video about the other side as well. Like I will make a video about like you know like stupid people on like the other side. Just clarity or whatever. Not clarity, well, clarity or whatever. Like but I'm just gonna wait a little bit because this is gonna take this this video may take me a little bit to edit, but it's not gonna be really a long video. Maybe a bit long because of my voice. I have a lot of like voice recordings on here for the video. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of talking about the video itself now. But uh yeah, if you like the video, if you like the video, subscribe or leave a like if you want, or comment if you want. And if you dislike the video, you can dislike it if you like. If you didn't like it, leave a comment saying why you didn't like the video, or whatever you want. You know. But yeah, you know, like I'm up for a conversation, I guess, if you want to have one, with me. But yeah, like yeah. But yeah. So yeah, and if you also want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. You know. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.